Good morning, everyone. I need a slide changer. It's really a privilege to be here. I'm based in our Enterprise Innovation Hub in Basel, Switzerland. And in my role, I have the privilege of earning an enormous amount of air miles, travelling the globe and meeting with customers around the world. So what to do today was to spend a little bit of time sharing with you the observations that we've made at Thomson Reuters about the challenges that our customers are facing and what impact that's having on how we think about services that we deliver to the customer base. And, you know, no surprise, I think that last voting slide probably should have had another question, Neil, which was all of the above. Because certainly as I travel and talk to customers everywhere, the kinds of things that our customers are challenged with right now would seem to be pretty much, I think, a tsunami of challenges that our customers are really dealing with day in and day out. I would say it's fair to say that every customer conversation that I have probably begins and ends with a challenge around regulation. Whether it's the really big systemic regulations like MiFID II, FRTB and bulk derivatives that are causing our customers to have to dramatically rethink their processes, rethink their systems, or whether it's simply dealing with the day-to-day regulatory policy changes. There is a new regulatory update every 12 minutes. So for customers that are dealing with global markets, the burden on compliance workflow is simply huge. The second big area of challenge is, of course, around data. And in a buy-side community where data is absolutely the tool of trade, really trying to keep up with the volume, velocity, veracity, and as Sanjeev said, variety of data, and really use that to be able to find alpha-generating signals is probably the second big challenge that we see. FinTech. You know, I would say some customers may have concern about potential disruption from FinTech, certainly what blockchain may do to market structures. But the bigger concern I hear from many customers is really how to keep on top of what's going on in FinTech to ensure that they have the opportunity to take advantage of how FinTech can give them competitive advantage. And as Belinda mentioned, we can't underestimate the influence of millennial thinking in terms of how we build our products to service our customers and also to support and engage our employees. All of those challenges are leading to the development of a lot more business models. We're seeing customers, we're seeing vendors that are looking to say, you know what, I can't solve all of this by myself. I need to move into an environment of collaboration, of co-innovation in order to be able to keep pace with all these pressures. Then I would say if we overlay on top of that the Asia phenomenon, what you're seeing here in Asia, as you know better than me, obviously, is tremendous growth in the middle class, tremendous growth in the wealth management community here, the internationalization of the RMB, the globalization of China, and then overlay the buy side on top of that, where you're seeing increases in passive investing, putting pressure on fees, margin compression, industry consolidation. I would say that Asia buy side is really in the perfect storm, or the eye of a perfect storm of change. Now, frequently customers will say to me, okay, so how's this impacting Thomson Reuters business? How is this changing how you think about servicing the global customer base? And how would you describe, someone asked me last week, how would you describe Thomson Reuters business? I promise you I'm not going to take you through the entire history of Thomson Reuters, but I do want to say that we see ourselves as being in the business of providing the financial markets with information and insight and connecting financial markets. And one of the things that we're really proud of is that that's been our business for 160 years. Some of you may know, I suspect most of you don't, our business began with carrier pigeons delivering news to bridge a break in the telegraph in Europe 160 years ago. We then moved on to operate the first undersea cable that was transmitting foreign exchange prices between London and New York, hence the term cable given to the dollar-sterling currency pair. So fast forward to today, we are still doing exactly that. We're still giving the industry information, insight, and connecting markets. But of course, the challenges of today and the technology and tools at our disposal are vastly different than what existed 160 years ago. At the core of our business is content or information. This year, DataStream, which is I believe many of you are using DataStream. It is the world's most preeminent economic time series data with over 10 million economic time series. DataStream will turn 50 years old. That's incredible for longevity of a product. IBIS estimates, our fundamentals data, our 10 petabyte tech history database, these are all the core foundational content sets of Thomson Reuters. But increasingly, particularly our buy-side customers, are looking for alternate data. They're looking to be able to find signals from unstructured data. So increasingly, our view of content and information is shifting much more from structured to unstructured and how we can find those signals. Also, our focus is shifting more from being able to use data to see what has happened to using data to predict what is going to happen and ultimately to prescribe what's going to happen. We deliver our information to our customers through our world-class Icon desktop, also through feeds. Increasingly, our customers are asking us not just to give them the data, but to give them data integration tools to help them integrate our data with their data, as many, many customers are now seeking to do a lot of their own data science and data research projects. We also operate the world's largest foreign exchange marketplace through our ownership of TradeWeb. We have a big stake in large fixed income transactions. And as Sanjeev said, we recently acquired Ready, which is all about providing the buy side with execution management services for transactional liquidity. So the challenge for us at Thomson Reuters, with all of those influences that are causing massive change in the market, is how do we keep up? How do we really sustain our business in an environment of so much change, operating in 160 countries where the pace of change is absolutely accelerating? And the answer for us is to really start to do what we've always done, but the paradigm shift is how to get the benefit of platform economics. If you look at some of the most successful companies in business today, they have platform economics at the center of their business model. They are technology-enabled companies that tap into a vast ecosystem of partners to enable them to operate globally. It's interesting to see that 81% of executives surveyed have said that their business growth in some part in the future will be tied to a partnership or a platform business model. So let's take a look at some of the principles that platform business models actually give. And the first one is really tremendous agility and speed. Last year when I was in Johannesburg, I was overwhelmed at how established Uber was in Johannesburg. I did a little bit of research and I learned that Uber, in its first 5 years, established businesses in 400 cities around the globe, onboarded 1 million drivers and 2 billion customers. That is extraordinary agility. At Thomson Reuters, we're looking to have that same kind of agility in global markets by being able to partner with fintech and other providers that can help us build out our solutions for global markets that we would just not be able to get through a single-threaded proprietary development capability. Platforms also give unbelievable monetization opportunities for businesses. I hope when you came in this morning or at some point today, you will stop and take a look at our partner space downstairs, where we are now partnering with a number of great innovative startups and other businesses in Hong Kong that are help bringing our platform to life to innovate for our customers here in the Asia region. And it's exactly that. Platforms and their ecosystems really drive growth and innovation. One of the interesting stories that I think about as a great parallel, I had the privilege of listening to Randall Stephenson, the CEO of AT&T, on a panel in Davos last year, and he was sitting there with the CEO of Renault. And first of all, he held up his iPhone and said, this is the secret to AT&T's success. Obviously, the use of the iPhone is what's driven the growth in the telco platform of AT&T. But he then went on to talk about the vision for the smart city, where driverless and autonomous vehicles would be routed around traffic congestion, where autonomous snow removal vehicles would be routed to the most incredible build-ups of snow. For AT&T to do that, they're going to lay down the sensors in the cities, but will be the manufacturers of the vehicles that will interact with that to actually create the smart city. And that is the power of the platform collaborating with the ecosystem. And that is our vision at Thomson Reuters for how we can find those incredibly innovative providers, bring them together with our data on our platform, with our distribution, so that we can in fact truly reinvent the customer experience. So, how are we going to bring all of those principles to the financial markets? I'm going to be followed this morning by a number of my colleagues who will take this into much more detail, but I just want to set the stage a little bit in terms of teeing up what we are doing with platform. And it's all about offering our platform of rich data, of technology, of data integration know-how, and global distribution to offer to the marketplace what I would call platform as a service. We've been in the business of operating in a platform really for the last 30 years, probably since we first rolled out Triarch, which was a trading technology that integrated a host of variety of third-party vendor feeds to get rid of 20 screens that a trader was sitting behind, turn it into one screen that integrated multiple vendors. And through innovation over the years, through RMDS, through TREP, we've continued to build our business as a platform offering third-party services to the market. And the Icon App Studio is our latest paradigm shift or our latest evolution in the platform. So, you know, if we've always been a platform, what is it that's different about what we're doing now? What we're trying to do now with our platform business model is to really accelerate our ability to move faster, our ability to really access much more third-party intellectual property and to be able to deliver that to the market at an increased speed of agility. I actually like to say what I want us to be is to be the Amazon of the financial markets. Now, when I first started saying this about 4 years ago, our CFO said, Debra, that's not really a good analogy. What, you want to be the low-cost provider of services? You know, Amazon's not even profitable, so why would we have that as an aspiration? So I realized that I needed to explain that a little more. And what I mean when I say become the Amazon of information, what I mean is taking some of the principles of these incredible e-commerce experiences that we all have in our personal lives and bring them to the tools that we use in our professional lives. So for us, what that means is on the supply side, opening up our APIs so third parties can self-serve into our environment. For our consumer side, especially with a growing customer base of millennials, really reinvent the consumer experience to make it much more digital, to be able to enable our content and our capabilities to be more digitally discoverable, to move to a model where our customers can download sample data and ultimately click to purchase. That's the vision of where we really are trying to head with the digitization and the opening up of our platform. We launched App Studio on Icon last year, And we now have 30 app partners as a vibrant part of our ecosystem, each aimed at really bringing innovation to the market. I'll just talk about a couple of them to give you a sense of them. The use cases for Icon and App Studio, first of all, for customers as a development environment, we're very proud of our partnership with Standard Chartered, who've actually used Icon as a development environment and built much of their advice capabilities for their advisors on Icon. And if you take the time to have a look in Standard Chartered's annual report, you'll see they proudly talk about the innovation they've been able to deliver to their employees in service of their customers by using Icon and App Studio. We have a partnership with a large global custodian fund administrator who are building applications on Icon to service their fund administrative workflow with their clients. And we have, again, a growing number of third parties who are building apps on Icon and developing innovation and helping us take Icon into new markets. I was in New Zealand earlier this year and saw two fabulous partners that have really worked with us wonderfully to really innovate workflow in the New Zealand market. First of all, we had customers that were looking to buy Icon, but we didn't have a depth of order book capability for trading. We partnered with a company called Paratech. We built that out, and we now have 700 Icons in New Zealand and Australia on the back of that partnership. We've also partnered with a company called Securities, who has 75% of the back office clearing for the wealth advisory market in New Zealand. They've written an application to pull the back office client data through Icon into an advisor view, which is giving their customers a much greater integrated experience, but also giving them a new market and a new revenue growth potential. So hopefully that just gives you a little sense of really a growing business for us and a big paradigm shift of how we're co-innovating to bring fintech to the financial community. So that's in the desktop in terms of how we service our human customer base. But more than 50% of our customer base are actually machines. And the delivery of our data into program trading systems, into new growing data lakes where companies are looking to do research, alpha gen models, and so on. And we now have an integrated platform called Electron Data Platform, which not only delivers all of our referential and non-streaming data, but also is now beginning to deliver a host of data integration tools that we have actually commercialized from our own content factory, giving customers the ability to be able to integrate our data with their data and really bring all of that data world into view in terms of research or alpha generation. And as we see, the advent of MiFID II and the impact that that is potentially going to have on buy-side research, we think that this is going to be a very important area of engagement moving forward. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope I've given you a sense of where we're heading. For us, it is all about innovation, it's all about platforms, and it's all about partnerships. I look forward to spending the day here. I hope I have the opportunity to meet and chat with many of you, and I'd like to thank you very much for your business and your partnership. Thank you.